Check, check, 1 2 1 2. For the people that's gonna watch this on the playback, you're rocking with your host, Deshaun, aka Son of a Jones, one half of Enveonline. And on this platform, y'all know we like to curate what's going on in underground hip hop. Today, I got the honor of talking with a dope artist that's working his ass off right now by the name of Action Figure 973. Action, man, what's going on? How your day's going?
Oh man, today's been a good day, man. I can't complain, man. I'm excited, man. I've been looking forward to speaking with you, man.
So the first question straight off the back, man. We're gonna title this segment "Fuck Bill Goldberg." So
Oh
straight off the rip, man, you're a dope artist who is blending in wrestling culture within your artistry, and you have a song that's picking up. You not only did this song, but you did the video titled "F Bill Goldberg." So I gotta ask, man, what did Bill Goldberg do? Why is it F Bill Goldberg forever?
I mean, man, it's fuck Bill Goldberg, man, because basically he injured Bret Hart, right? And it's always been fuck Bill Goldberg, but it wasn't always visceral until I came across an interview that Bret Hart had did, and somebody asked him like, "Oh, who were you looking forward to wrestling if you didn't get injured, if you didn't get a career-ending injury by Bill Goldberg?" He said the one person he was looking forward to wrestling was Rey Mysterio Jr.
Mm,
And Rey Mysterio Jr. is obviously one of my favorite wrestlers, and he's a luchador. I don't know if you know if you're familiar with wrestling,
mm-hmm.
but he's a luchador. So yeah, man. So ever since then, and that's a match that I would have loved to have seen, and I thought that it sucks that it's never happened. So and now it won't happen because of Bill Goldberg. So fuck Bill Goldberg. That's just as basic an answer as I can give it. Yeah, man.
I appreciate that, man. So gotta say congratulations because I
Thank you,
picked up
man.
the album. Shout out, I got the
Yes,
physical copy, which is important.
yes,
Dark Side
yes.
of the Ring, great
Hmm.
artwork. I believe the artwork is from Craig Dyer.
Absolutely, yes,
Salute
sir.
to Craig Dyer, man. So salute on the new album. Conceptually, I think you kind of you thought with the left side of your brain because you was knocking me away with the titles and the creativity,
Hmm.
man. But first and foremost, what made you pick that title, Dark Side of the Ring, and to conceptually go in like this?
So when I came up with the idea for the mixtape, originally I was gonna do action figure is the future.
Okay.
So that was gonna be which was basically like my rip on 50 Cent. Like I love 50, so I kind of feel like I'm a disruptor, like 50 was. You know what I'm saying? That's how I kind of look at myself. So when the idea came for the mixtape, originally that was gonna be the concept, man, and I was just thinking about 50 Cent as the future and how impactful that mixtape was, and I wanted to have that same energy, but so I just remember I told Dyer about it. Dyer was gonna paint me as like 50 Banks and Yayo, but with the mask. So he was gonna like just take the cover and just basically put my head on different mask on Yayo and Fifth and Banks. But it dawned on me one day, and I was just thinking about it, that same time that I told him about it. It just dawned on me, and I was just thinking about it, and I was like, damn, like action figure is the future is cool, but just I don't know, man. It just came over me one day. Dark Side of the Ring, just the words "Dark Side of the Ring" came to mind, and then I thought of Pink Floyd, "Dark Side of the Moon," and I was like, yo, we could just take the Dark Side of the Moon cover, take out the triangle, and the whole moon thing, and just throw a wrestling ring in there. And when I told Dyer, I think Dyer was like at a club with
Mm.
like his homies. So, and I told him, I hit him up. I was like, yo, I got this idea for a cover. And I told him about, Dark Side of the Ring. I was like, yo, Wrestling Ring, Dark Side of the Moon. And he loved the idea, man. And he sent that to me maybe like the next day. He sent me the cover, painted, ready to go. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, he ain't just take a wrestling ring and, Photoshop it. No, this man, drew it and painted it. So yeah, man. So just the way the mixtape came together, just in general, was just like that. It's like things like that. It was like we spoke the idea and it existed.
Definitely brought it to life, man. I want to get
Yeah.
into this track listing because the first thing that jumped out at me, because I'm an old head, man. I'm almost
Hmm.
40. I'm in my late 30s. So you had some
Yeah.
titles out there that caught my attention. on this
Uh-huh.
album, Dark Side of the Ring. And
Right.
that track is Mook versus Party Artie.
Hmm.
Rest in peace to Party Artie, man.
Hell
So
yeah.
for the old heads out there like me, you should appreciate this because that goes back into the DVD era, which is very
Hmm.
prevalent. And it was an
Hell yeah.
iconic battle versus Mook and Party Artie. Rest in peace.
Yeah, yeah,
So I
yeah.
got to lay the foundation because first we got to acknowledge how iconic the bars was in the first round from Party Artie
Hmm.
when he said, "When I was in Rikers, you was in diapers.
Diapers.
I was rhyming. I was in ciphers, rhyming with lifers. You
Lifers.
was at home trying to get tighter, rhyming off beat. I was popping off heat." Rest in peace to Party Artie. And if you don't
Yeah.
understand how iconic he is, he was a legend that honestly did a lot of work with digging in the crates. That's
Right.
what Big L, that's what
He was
Fat
also on Big L's
Joe,
first album. Yeah, yeah.
yup, that's what Diamond D, salute to Diamond D,
I
salute to
think yo,
digging in the crates.
isn't he on the Graveyard
I
with
believe
Hove?
so. I believe
Oh shit.
so.
Hell yeah.
That's
Hell
how
yeah.
iconic Party Artie is. So
Yeah.
when I saw you put that title Mook versus Party Artie on this album, I'm like, yo,
Mhm.
this dude is doing the knowledge, man. This
Yeah,
dude is
yeah.
doing the knowledge. What made you pick that title?
I mean, yo, so when I saw that battle, I was young. I was buying the DVDs, man. I was going to the to the mom and pop shops, getting the white tees and getting Smack DVDs. That was like my life. You know what I'm saying? At one point in time, just collecting those DVDs and just mixtape culture in general. And I don't know, yo, that beat just made me think of like Move Brisk Party Arty, and that's just a battle that I've always like. I have that. That's like go tos. You know what I'm saying? Like if I'm chilling, I'm bored. I'm like, yo, let me throw on Move Brisk Party Arty. You know what I'm saying? Let me hear, and then like as a fan and just being like in the culture of hip hop and being like on the New York scene, like I met people that were there. You know
Mm,
what I'm saying? And they got to tell me about like the atmosphere. Like I met Charlie Clips, who's from Harlem, and we were talking about battles one time, and I was telling him about like, yo, Move Rich Party Artie's my favorite. He was like, yo, I was there,
mm.
and he was telling me about the energy and how crazy it was, and he was telling me like little folklore about that. Like so, that was just like I said, man. That was just one of those moments that that I just wanted to just bring that, like shed some light on that. Like I like having fun and doing that with my records. I like my thing is I guess a big thing I do is just, references and, like I have a good frame of reference, you know what I'm saying? So
You definitely got a good frame of reference with these tracks. So the next one I'm gonna touch on is Jack Villano versus Carlos Colon, the Caribbean legends, man. And
yes
obviously
sir.
you're very big into wrestling culture. Can you talk about what does that mean for you personally outside of hip hop? What did they do contributing to the culture that pretty much made you reference that and how iconic were they to the culture of wrestling?
I mean, they're very iconic to both Carlos Colon being from Puerto Rico and and to be honest, like I feel like that's like a long lost family member of mine because I have like I'm Puerto Rican, so in my family I
Salute my
have
fellow
colognes.
Boricua. I'm Puerto Rican
Hell
too,
yeah!
man.
Oh hell yeah! Hell yeah! Salute, man. Yeah, so I have colognes in my family, so I feel like I'm like a descendant of that. But nah, but outside of that, just Veneno and Carlos Colon. Veneno was the biggest wrestler in Dominican Republic. Carlos Colon being the biggest one out of Puerto Rico, and the title it was inspired because the dude that produced the track. I gotta salute my guy, Dominican Kev. You know what I'm saying? So since he was Dominican, so I was like, yo, you'll be Veneno, and I'll be Carlos Colon on this one and shit. It just went crazy on that one.
So I want to talk about the culture of hip hop because I believe you're
Mm-hmm.
from New Jersey, if I got that correct.
Yes, sir.
Gotcha. So New Jersey bred a lot of dope artists from
Mm-hmm.
Redman, from just a lot of artists that don't get it proper respect. Tretch from
Right.
Naughty by Nature and so forth and so forth. So I want to ask you, when did you fall in love with the culture of hip hop and what was your reference point in the beginning?
Oh man, in the beginning, so when really started listening to hip hop, Big had just died.
Okay.
You know what I'm saying? So Biggie had just died, so it was like it was the end of the East Coast West Coast. and
Mm-hmm.
then it was kind of getting into the shiny suit era
Ah, man.
slash DMX is cutting through, Hove and Ja and them are cutting through. You know what I'm saying? So that was like, and then you had Nas and the Firm too. So like my favorite, like that's how I came up. So I remember I went to summer camp that year, and there was a kid that they had a talent show at the end of camp, and there was a kid that was in like my friend group in camp, and he was like gonna perform "I'll Be Missing You." That was like the track of the summer at the time. And son was like, nah. He was like, but when he went on stage, he was like, yo, before I do this, he's like, I want to kick my own rhyme. And the kid just went in and started kicking his own rap. And I was like, holy shit, like people do that. You know what I'm saying? I didn't know that
Mm-hmm.
that was like a thing. I just thought like, like I didn't understand how the voices came out of the radio. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So
So
like I said, so my beginnings was Bad Boy and what was going on in the shiny suit era, and then
yeah, we gotta fast forward the shiny suit era, man. They done turned Murder Mace into something else, man.
Nah,
Salute
it
the
wasn't.
Murder
He wasn't
Mace,
even Murder
man.
Base. He wasn't even
Started
Murder
putting on them
Base,
shiny
man.
suits and making money. I get him though. I feel him.
Yeah, man.
Yo,
But
but
I love that stuff, man. Like it's sad, man. I was a big Bad Boy fan. So yeah. But you remember, I was a kid during that time,
you
so
know
you
what?
know
Look, I ain't gonna front. I think we
what
all were before the Puffy stories came out and
I mean?
before
Right,
the stories of
right,
artists getting
right.
jerked for their publishing. We all were as a kid.
Yeah.
Had it
I used to
unlocked.
hate. I used to hate hearing those stories as a kid, man.
Yeah. So
Yeah, man.
I want to talk about your style because it's unique from rapping to obviously
Hmm.
what you're doing with the mask and so
Hmm.
forth. Because there's not a lot of artists that are taking a route that you're taking. They might wear a patch or a half a cover. You know,
Hmm.
Nelly wore the band-aid, but you're really
Hmm.
embracing this style and
Hmm.
nobody else is doing it. So I want to ask you, what gave you the confidence within hip hop? Because hip hop can be fickle. Somebody could look at you and shun you and be like, yo, get out of here with that. But you're
It's
confident, you're a
funny,
dope
man.
artist, so I had to
Like,
ask you.
no, I got you, man. I have a song on my upcoming album where I kind of talk about it, man. Like, I talk about like the first time I put the mask on and like looked in the mirror, like I laughed at myself. You know what I'm saying?
Mm,
I got to laugh first before somebody else got to laugh at me. You know what I'm
okay.
saying? But I just had the idea. My wife was a big catalyst behind it. You know what I'm saying? Because I had did music in the past, and um, I didn't really get as far as in that aspect.
You
But
getting far now, but let's
yeah. Now it's a
yeah.
whole different story. Now it's a different story for sure. Oh yeah. So she was just like, yo, I wish you could put the music out, but you not put the music out. And
Mm,
when she said that, that's when it just started. I was like thinking with that concept, and I was like rumbling with it. And I remember, man, I was just chilling one day, and I was watching Rey Mysterio versus Sabu at ECW One Night Stand. You know what I'm saying? And when I saw that, I was like, yo, Rey Mysterio. I was like, yo, the lucha mask. I was like, yo, like, I was like, hip hop don't got luchadors. I was like, I thought of
you the
like,
first hip hop luchador, man. At least to my knowledge, I
so
haven't seen it.
yeah, I mean, I've heard people have said that there was people before me. You know what I'm saying? Like, and I do acknowledge that there were a couple of MCs before me that wore it. You know what I'm saying? But yeah,
That's dope, man. So this leads me to the next segue, talking about
mm-hmm.
underground hip hop. I done said this on multiple interviews, podcasts, and I'm probably gonna say it so much people gonna get tired of hearing it. I
Mm-hmm.
believe we are in a full blown renaissance for underground hip hop.
Hell
And
yeah,
it's so different from what was going on in the 2010s and the early
hell yeah.
2000s and the 1990s. So I'm gonna list a couple bullet points. The overall ageism in hip hop, I believe, is gone. Like back before, if you told somebody you was about to turn 30 next week, if you was 29, they'd be like, man, yo, pack it up, get a job. Like it's cool now
Mm-hmm.
with this new renaissance to rap at any age as long as your art is dope.
Yeah,
The revolution of physical copies are back. You know, the record labels told us streaming, streaming, streaming. But lately, this last 6 months to a year, people have been putting out a lot of vinyls, CDs, cassettes, and so forth. So this is another part of the revolution, along with styles like what you're doing and the freedom of being independent. Because I'm be honest, I'm gonna say this: a lot of these underground rappers that you might never heard of are lapping the artists that are signed, and that's no
100%.
disrespect. Like these guys are putting out catalogs of music within 2 years, where some of you artists on major labels got 6 albums out in 15 years. These guys are
It's
doing that
true.
in a year and a half. So I want to ask you, with what you're doing in underground hip hop and what you're seeing, how do you feel about the moment of what's going on underground wise?
I do believe like that we are in a renaissance. It's been going on since I'd like to say it's going on since Griselda and Rock, but I feel like even more so in the 2020s
Yeah,
and
pretty much
during the
after COVID, it
pandemic.
was like a
I
reset.
feel like yeah, with the pandemic, I feel like that really added to it. You know what I'm saying? It made hip hop more interesting, and I mean, it's definitely a renaissance, man, and we're definitely the underground is to me the underground has always been the shit. You know what I'm saying? And to me, people always steal from the underground. You know what I mean? So to
They
me,
act like
like
they're not watching, but they secretly
yeah,
watching
yeah,
all you guys. I don't care
exactly.
if you a small artist in Nebraska, they're
Mm-hmm.
watching you.
100%. Because I've seen people popping up now with the luchador mask and all of that now, and I've seen that a little bit more. You know what I'm saying? So I believe it, man. Like, and I've always said it that the underground is always where the popping shit is to me, man. It's like street ball. You know what I'm saying? Street ball is more entertaining than regular basketball. You know what I'm saying? But
Salute the N1. Those are the
yeah,
days,
man.
man. Yo, talking
So
about
I just feel like underground rap is to me is like street ball. You know what I mean? That's how I look at it too.
hmm talking about underground acts like you name like the Rock Marcianos and the Griseldas. So obviously you paying attention to other artists. Who are some artists that kind of influence you right now, underground wise, that you're paying attention to?
That I'm paying attention to. I mean, I hate to give kind of the cliche answer. I mean, I really don't necessarily tap in with too many people. Like I'm a fan of like Euro Drew. You know what I'm saying? Like I love like obviously West Side and what Griselda's doing. I'm always tapped into that, but I'm not super tapped in with a lot of people. But there are people on the scene that are dope, like Lane Wolf. You know what I'm saying? My guy Wolfie. Chubbs is doing good stuff. Obviously, the Umbrella's doing great stuff as well. You know what I'm saying? Um, there's a lot of good stuff. Feed the Family is doing their thing. You know what I'm saying? There's a lot of good stuff out there. Like my guy Vega, he's got his own camp as well, like a whole team of people. So it's like there's a lot of good hip hop out there. Like it's almost insane to me the level of classics that people are putting out that are putting out in such a short amount of time. You know what I'm saying?
hmm
It's, yeah, man.
I want to touch on something else too, because you mentioned that you're Puerto Rican, and I believe you know what I'm saying, to acknowledge Latins within hip hop, because that was a fight that many artists, like when Big Pun was alive, he was talking about being Latins going platinum is destined to come. Like that was a bar within his music. Do you find it hard to navigate being a Puerto Rican in hip hop with a unique identity, with the
Not at
lucha
all.
libre mask, or do you embrace it and then use it to your advantage?
It's a little bit of both. I used to measure my success of going out to shows by like how many times I got called Rey Mysterio.
Okay.
You know what I'm saying? So people used to always it's either I was Rey Mysterio or I was Nacho Libre. So when I started not getting those comparisons, I started to notice like, okay, this shit is working. You know what I'm saying? Like, because when people stopped calling me, fucking Nacho Libre and fucking Rey Mysterio Jr. But nah, I mean, to be honest, man, like I haven't really walked in found any had any issues with that being Latino, and that's never been a crutch, or it's never been anything that's like hindered me in any way, shape, or form. You know what I'm saying? I've always given it up, and I always respect, and I know where the culture comes from. And I think people get that when they see me and they hear me, and they're like, okay, like, nah, this guy is hip hop. He's not I'm of the culture, like, we can talk about anything, like I know hip hop, you know what I'm saying? And that's the one thing that I think people understand about me, and I think that comes off. So I've never had walked into any type of issue with that.
Respect, respect. You know, they say hip hop is a universal language that we all speak.
Absolutely.
And it's important to pass on, you know, a specific message within hip hop. Like, I believe messages are powerful. Like right
Hmm.
now, and I don't want to say mainstream, but like Meek Mills and the artist Friday had a song that's kind of getting a lot of attention because the message that they put in connected a
Hmm.
lot of people who lost family and loved ones. So I like to ask artists this: when you're making your music, what is the message that you're putting out? What do you hope is received when somebody listens to Action Figure 973?
I just want them to know I'm one of the nicest. To be honest,
Talk
that's
your
my
ish,
message,
man.
man. Yeah,
Talk
yeah,
your
man.
ish.
Like to be honest, man. Like I like having fun, man. But at the end of the day, I want you to walk away from my music, asking yourself like, damn, yo, like where does he come up with this shit? Like, you know what I mean? Like, I don't, not, yeah, like I said, like, I don't have many messages. Like, you're not gonna come to my music to really learn much, but you're gonna have some fun and you're gonna be entertained by the things I say. So, yeah, I mean, I'm not trying to, I don't have, uh, um, I guess, like, like a war message or anything. I just like rapping, man. I just like having fun, man. And I just like saying ridiculous things.
So, you know, as I told you before we started, I interviewed UK artist slash illustrator Craig Dyer, who's a
That's my
dope
brother right
artist.
there.
I believe somebody called him the underground Picasso with how much work he's putting in,
Hell
illustrating
yeah.
all these cover arts and so forth. And he's done
Mm,
quite a few, quite some work with you. So
hell yeah.
I like to ask artists who are on the underground using painting, bringing art back to life and letting the art personify the album. How has that helped you guys? Because it's really popular right now. Like back in the days, it was taking a picture and maybe doing some graphic artwork, but now the actual
Mm.
art is coming back.
I think it's dope, man. I'm a fan of that. I like the art, aspiring art, and I love what Dyer does. I think it just adds like a certain texture to it, and I think it's like damn when somebody looks at it and they're like, yo, like somebody painted this, like this is like ill, like you know what I'm saying? It's just something about that, and I think just that talent, having that talent, is always something that kind of impresses people. And when you could take an image that's in your head and put it down on paper and bring it to life, and I'm saying, man, yeah, Craig Dyer, man, that guy, I can't. It's not. I could say a million nice things about that guy because like he's a definitely a big part of everything I do. Especially with the artwork, especially with painting. But not only that, man, that guy's like my therapist, man. If he was to have a record label, I would sign to it tomorrow. You know
That's what's
what
up, man.
I mean?
That's what's up. Yeah, I wanted to jump back into wrestling culture because you're really educating me with the track listing and the knowledge. What's your favorite era of wrestling?
It would have to be the Attitude Era.
Okay.
That was that, like the Monday Night Wars. It was just when I came into wrestling, it was like towards like almost like 98, 97 ish, 98.
Stone
So it was
Cold,
like,
Rock,
yeah, yeah. So
Dudley
everything was like
Boys,
Stone Cold, Rock,
Hardy
Dudley
Brothers.
Boys. I was watching the ECW. I would watch Nitro at 8,
Just
listen
not
to,
Bill
to
Goldberg.
USA. It's not Bill Goldberg. No, I've never stuck around for no Bill Goldberg matches. But nah, man, yeah. So Attitude Era, man. It was just like ECW was going on. Listen, man. I've gotten in so much trouble in elementary school, sixth grade, starting riots, going chanting EC Dub, EC Dub. You know what I'm
Yo,
saying?
we
Like,
that yo, you know what's crazy? The kids that back in the days used to watch wrestling, we used to be little badasses back in junior high school and
yeah,
elementary school, messing around DDT and people when and
nah,
on a lunch table and all this other stuff, man. Wrestling
yeah,
was crazy.
nah. Listen, man. I did I did a finishing maneuver on a kid, which is called the Taz Mission. And
Okay.
basically, you're choking somebody out. I choked the kid blue, and I thought I killed him. And I thought he died
Well,
until
you
I
wouldn't be
until
talking to me
until
right
I
now.
saw him until I saw him the next day in school, and I was like, "Holy shit!" I cried when I saw that kid.
Who would
Shout out to my guy Jaime. Yeah,
Oh, that's the dude you choked out?
Yeah, yeah.
Thank you for surviving so we can have this conversation with Action 973, man.
Yeah, right.
Appreciate you for breathing. So from that time period, from the Attitude Era, who would your
Mm.
top 3 or 5 wrestlers be that you have on your Mount Rushmore?
Stone Cold Steve Austin. Um, Definitely The Rock. I mean, so many good things, man. Triple H would be on there. Undertaker would have to be on there. You know what I'm saying? Obviously, if I'm going ECW, it has to be like Taz. It has to be Rob Van Dam, Tommy Dreamer. Like, listen, man. like talking about wrestling, man. It always like it puts a legitimate smile on my face, man. Like,
Yo,
I'm having fun that the fact that I get to rap about wrestling and it's okay and people are like, yo, we like this, we want to hear more.
I
You
I
know?
never like there might be other artists out there because I'm pretty sure
Mm,
somebody's gonna say, "Oh, I do it too." I haven't heard them. Like you're one of the main underground
yeah,
artists
yeah.
that's doing this, and
Now,
it's
there's definitely
definitely
a lot. I get that a lot when I do features. People always hit me up like, "Yo, I could do that wrestling shit too." Yeah, every time, yo. Yo, I hear it all the time, and I love it. I love it because it's always dope because people. It's like I got something with Vega coming out soon,
mm,
right? And me and him are going crazy like with like pure like wrestling references. Is like the whole song is like wrestling references. And to me, it's so dope because to me, it sounds like he's paying homage to like my style,
okay.
and he goes crazy. It's like yeah, so I love it, man. I love when people do that. When people are just as excited as I am to talk about it. They love it, And people always say like, I could do that wrestling shit too. Every time I do a feature, somebody's always like, yo, I could do that shit too. So it's always fun to see, man.
While you're enjoying hip hop and doing your thing and putting out mixtapes and albums, like this journey, you know, has ebbs and flows, ups and downs. So I want
Yeah,
to ask every artist. So I ask you, what's one powerful lesson that you learned through your journey of hip hop?
patience. And the only reason why I'm saying that is just because I had a situation. I had a situation recently where my patience like actually worked. And to be honest, I'm a pretty impatient person. So for this one time, for this one thing that happened, you know what I'm saying? Like I was actually like, I'm gonna let this work it out. I'm gonna let the universe work this out. This is also my wife telling me to do this too, by the way. So I think she's over there. But she's like yo, just give it time. Let the universe work. So you know what I mean. So I finally took that advice, and I think that's the best advice I could really give to anybody. Just be patient.
Salute to your wife for that advice. And to big piggyback off that, that's important because March is Women's History Month. So we're
Yeah.
celebrating women. So
Hmm.
if you had to acknowledge a woman in your life and the role they played, here's your platform to do so.
Hell yeah. Absolutely, man. She's incredible, man. That's all I could really say, man.
That's what's up. So
Yeah.
I believe doing my research, I'm not like I want to make sure I get this correct that you put this out on Astra or you're signed to Astra.
Yeah, yeah. So that's the team I work with, man.
Okay.
Is Astro
So
Music Group.
can you break
So
that down
so
about how did that come about?
Yeah, man. So I had did a so I became cool with two people, which is my homie Eric the Red and Kibo Heedy, and I got cool with them first, and then I had I had signed up for a beat battle that was put on by Astra. So through that battle, I think I took third. You know what I'm saying? 'Cause I also produce as well.
Okay, that's
So
dope.
yeah, so I was in a beat battle, and from there, man, I met them, and I just dug their energy, man. They were always showing love. You know what I'm saying? They were showing love to me in the beginning, obviously. So it came time for wrestling school, and I wanted to do this like that's an album that I have. It's an EP that I did, where I did a produced the project in a whole day. So I had MCs come through from from all over the tri-state area, and we had a 10-hour studio session and created a non-song project, all in one day. And Astra facilitated that, and they were able to do it. They had a studio with two different rooms, so I was able to, maneuver. And through there, it was just like, okay, I recorded the album with them, and then me and my engineer War Ready. Like, I feel like when I locked in with him, I was like, damn, I finally found an engineer that really recorded, that really knew how to record me. So it started from there, man. It just started real slow. It was just, oh, studio session. It's like, okay, I started coming around more, and it was like, because of those guys, because of War Ready. Like, at the time, I wasn't really taking it serious in the beginning. I was just like producing stuff, and I was just going about it, just having fun. It was a hobby, and you know what I'm saying. It was like War, my guy Key, and the team. They basically sat me down like, nah, son, we need to take this a little more serious. Like, yo, you got something. Like, they're telling me, like, yo, like, you know what I'm saying, like you could really do some damage here, like. So it just came like that. I was just building with everybody. It's like Karsh Kappa, does my videos. He's part of Astra. I brought in Wolverine. He's a producer. And the list just goes on, man. It's just the whole team over there. And then we got BCP, which is Conspiracy and Hound and Bizzle. They're from like down south in VA and Florida. So it's like we got like a whole like cross country thing going too. So.
So is that like an indie label ish or?
Yeah, it's a studio slash indie label. Yeah, I would say it's
So
an indie label for sure.
gotcha. So this is
We,
where
you
I
know, we
wanted
got a
to.
lot going on. Yeah, we
So
got
this
videos. Yeah, multimedia, all that.
so this is where I wanted to go with it because right
Mhm,
now it seems like being independent, even if you're signed to like a indie label or a boutique label, is the way to go. Like you
mhm,
heard, like I've heard so many stories doing media of, oh, I signed to Sony or Def Jam and they didn't like the single, so now I'm shelved for 4 years. Like an artist
yeah.
just came out recently by the name of Moray, who I was listening to before COVID, and he
Mhm,
disappeared off the face of the earth. I was like, what happened? So he just came back out saying, yeah, my label shelved me and I had problems. That's why I was gone for 4 years. So
uh,
again, the independent route,
mhm,
the flexibility of being with a smaller or boutique label is allowing you guys to do more.
mhm.
So how does
Absolutely.
that is there would you rather stay independent and move like you're moving or is the goal one day to get signed?
Uh, I mean, with my guys, it's more of a team thing. I don't really look at it as so much. I guess like, oh, I'm signed to a record label. We all just kind of move as one, and that's how it kind of works out for me. So I still independent. I come with ideas. We all come with kind of ideas to the table. But it's never anything where I have to worry about, oh, they're going to shelf my album or something.
That's good.
That's not it. But like, yeah, man, we just move, man. That's really what it is, man. And we just really help one another. Everybody is each one teach one. Basically. So yeah, I mean, I've not signed to anybody. All my deals that I've done as far as like product deals have just been mostly that, just kind of those one-off deals of a CD or a project here and there. But yeah, I'm liking that system so far. That system is new to me. Like, I never, like, when I did music back in the day, I didn't sign to any label. I was purely independent, just me by myself funding everything. You know what I'm saying? Whereas now it's like, funding everything with a team. So it's not just myself. So
That's definitely what's up. So amazing album, but this
thank
is a
you.
mixtape. So I have to ask you,
Yeah.
you got videos dropping. What's next for Action 973?
So right now we got the music video out right now. Rap is crap. That's the second song on the project. Right now, man, I'm gearing up for my debut album, self-produced. So that's coming in May. So that's kind of, I haven't really told anybody about that one yet. So you know what I mean. Dyer had told me you saw the cover though. He should. he,
That's what's
he
up.
mistakenly showed you the cover art.
No, oh, he took it down. If you watch the interview, I had to clip the first 30 seconds and re-edit it but he took
Oh
it
yeah,
down. I didn't
yeah,
get
yeah,
it. I
yeah,
didn't get
yeah.
it in the camera.
No, no, no. Oh, okay, cool, cool, cool. Because he told me he was like, "Yo," he was telling me about it. He was like,
He
"Yo,"
moved
I
quick.
think.
He was panning. He was like, "Oh shit, yo, turn the cameras off."
Yeah, man. So yeah, I'm just gearing up for this debut, man. I wanted the mixtape to kind of serve to serve as a a little appetizer, man. And that mixtape has done a lot, man. It's, I feel like it's brought a lot of attention in. It's yeah, man. I mean, it's exciting, man. I to be honest, I'm floored by it because I wasn't really expecting that from the mixtape. You know what I'm saying? Like DITCD hit me up, man, and they're supporters, man. They've supported other drops that I've done. You know what I'm saying? No other label has really done that where they supported other drops, and but DITCD came to the table, man, and I asked them if they would drop something with not my beats or beats by a producer that I know, and they were like, "Yeah, we'll drop it." And
That's dope.
and it was just a selfless drop. I just wanted it out there. I just wanted to do it, and you know what I'm saying. They supported, and I just wanted to show DITCD love, man. And and from there I feel like they rolled out the red carpet, man. It went from a CD, and then homie was like, "Yo, you down to do cassettes?" I was like, "Hell yeah, I'm down to do cassettes."
Yo, that's
And
what's
cassettes,
moving right now.
yeah, and cassettes are my favorite. It's like my favorite medium is a cassette. You know what I mean? I came up buying cassettes when I was a kid. You know what I'm saying? So
And
to
and
have
this
my
is
music on cassette is one of my favorite things as well, man.
and this is what I think benefits you guys as underground artists or independent artists. So, I don't know what's the situation with you doing shows or whatnot, but when I went to an underground show not too long ago, the independent artists, yo, bring your vinyls, bring your CDs, bring your cassettes, your merchandise. And if you rock a show, even if you're opening for somebody, you might get off 10 CDs that night. You might get
Yeah,
off 5 CD, and that hand to hand
yeah,
connection,
yeah.
for me, is going to do more for your career than streaming. That
Mm,
person that paid $20 for that CD is going to remember it because they spent $20 on it. So
hell yeah, hell
that's
yeah.
that's definitely what's up. Are you doing like underground shows or anything?
So I'm definitely planning on doing a release party for my debut.
Hmm.
I definitely want to do that. Um, I love to do shows. I like to do shows. Nobody's really asked me, man. I
Yo,
haven't been
keep keep
asked.
work keep working.
I haven't been asked in recent times, man. I like the last show that I did. I think it was something that I put on, or something that the team put on. You know what I'm saying? So,
Hmm.
yeah,
Yo, if you keep working, man, and keep hitting out this music eventually, because I see, I don't know the person personally, but I think his medium is called Pocket the Plug or whatever, and he's
Pocket.
releasing, and I think he's like sending stuff across seas, and
Yeah, well, he's based out of France. That's his thing. He's
yo, and
just
hip hop is big across seas. You
yeah,
you
yeah,
you hit a
yeah,
certain pocket, you might pick up some audience over there, and end up across
yeah,
seas,
yeah,
man.
yeah, yeah, man. I mean, that's what I see. Like a lot of my streams comes from like New York, and a lot of it is Europe as well, man. A lot of it is Europe. A good portion of it. I think when me and Eric the Red dropped the project, we had like Apple Music. It shows you like radio spins where your music is spinned, and we were seeing a lot of like Helsinki. I was seeing
You like
places I've never
Helsinki?
heard
What,
of.
what what's that?
I was like, "What the hell
What?
is that? What the hell is a
Yo,
Helsinki?" And I was like, "Yo, that's fucking Poland."
the
You know what
farther
I'm
away
saying?
your music gets, that's a potential show over there. Might be
Yeah, oh
6 months or it might be a year, but if you keep dropping music consistently,
yeah. I'll
anything
do
is
it.
possible, man.
I'll do it. I'll go right now. And I got a passport. I don't got no, priors, nothing. So, shit, man. I'm
Yeah,
not a
man.
criminal, so I'm good, man. I don't got a record. You know what I mean? Like, I'm good with Border Patrol.
Yo, so I'm gonna leave off like this, man. I appreciate you taking time out of your schedule, man, because I appreciate any artist. It's not,
Oh, yeah.
when I sit in front of this camera, I'm not just trying to interview such and such at the top, man. Anybody who gives me time, man, I definitely pay homage and respect because we're all human beings
Oh, yeah.
with a schedule, with a personal life. So I want
Mm,
to first off salute to you because
thank you, man.
Craig Dyer definitely put me onto a dope artist. I love listening to your music and looking at the creativity
Thank
and
you,
your
man.
individual style, man. So I have to say
Thank
that.
you, man. Appreciate that, bro. For real, man. I thank you, man. For real.
Yo, and anything you want to shout out before we end this, man?
Yeah, man. I just want to shout out my team, man. Shout out to Craig Dyer, man. I got to shout out Astra, my guy War Ready, Lido, Karstappa, Wolverine, O's, Eric the Red, Seven Tribes, Kibo Heedy, my lovely wife. You know, the whole team. Just New Jersey hip hop.
And one last time, fuck Bill
Fuck
Goldberg.
Bill Goldberg.
Yo, salute Action
Thank
Figure
you.
973, man. It's been a pleasure having you, man.